Now, I've seen a couple videos out there addressing the fact that some musicians are, reticent to get up on stage and actually play because they're worried that they're going to have a bad performance that night. Somebody's going to capture it on their camera and then post it either to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and it's going to ruin their career. And yeah, that's a possibility. And we all have bad nights when we're playing live or whatever gig. We're going to make mistakes. That's part of it. But you can't control what other people do. And on the flip side of that, you could have a great night. Somebody could film it and you blow up and it goes viral because you're amazing. But I guess in recent events with Instagram guitar player who wasn't really living up to what he was purported to do, it's a legitimate fear that's out there. So what can you do about that aspect of it? Well, there's nothing you can do about it unless you have enough cachet to keep people from filming your shows, but those days are long gone. Nerves, stage fright, performance anxiety, whatever you call it. It happens to pretty much everybody who picks up the guitar or whatever instrument and wants to play live. And it's something that you have to get over, or at the very least to deal with. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. It's always going to be there. So today we're going to talk about a couple things that you can actually do to help with nerves, stage fright, performance anxiety, whatever it is. Why am I talking to you about it? Well, this YouTube channel right here is my side hustle. But I have a PhD in sport and performance psychology. Actually, it's a PhD in educational psychology with a focus in sport and performance. So what is that? It's helping athletes get over the things that keep them from performing their best. So today we're going to talk about a couple things that musicians can use in order to get over that performance anxiety. So what can you do about it? And there's something that we work with athletes and performers on is something called control the controllables. What you can control. And basically what you can control is you. So here's some things we're going to talk about that help you deal with that aspect. Because what happens is you're playing and you make a mistake. It might be a minor mistake. Maybe nobody in the audience notices it, but you notice it. And what can happen is your brain, you start going, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, is somebody out there filming me? Oh, the end of my... It can get catastrophic very quickly if your brain takes over. And then it pulls you out of that present moment. Your attention is no longer there with what you're doing, and it can get worse. A couple things that we're going to talk about today to kind of get over that. And the first is an understanding of two kind of mindsets going into when you're performing. And that's a kind of a practice mindset and a performing mindset. We call it the training mindset and the trusting mindset. Now, the training mindset is the practicing mindset. And it's very useful when we're practicing or learning a song. And it applies to both you and the band that you're in. So what usually you do in the training mindset is you're playing something, you're trying to master that riff, chord, solo, whatever it is. So you'll make a mistake, you go, oh, let me back up and do that. You play it through a bunch of times, you get that repetition in there to build what we call muscle memory. In the technical term, it's a motor program in your brain. You're building that so you can play it through flawlessly. The training mindset, you play through, you get it right, you play through, you make mistakes, you go back, you refine. And you can do this also as a band. So you refine, as a guitar player, you refine what you're going to play, and then you go to the band. And as a band, you're working all the parts together so that everybody is on the same page. You will probably do that as a band. Hey, we're going to do the intro. And you play the intro, and you get a couple times, and then you go through the verses, and then you kind of build this. That kind of mindset, that training mindset, doesn't work when you're performing. You have to be of the mindset that go, we need to play it all the way through, mistakes and all. Kind of tough if you're very used to being in that kind of training mindset. So how do you get into a performing mindset? Well, you actually practice it. And these things that I'm going to talk about today, they're not one-offs. You just don't do them. You have to actually practice them. So practice performing. So a lot of bands probably do this. Hopefully you do. Get up there, you get your set list or you get your song and play it through. And don't worry about mistakes. A lot of times you can record it and then go back and see where your mistakes are. Then go back into that training mindset, refine, then go into the performing mindset, playing it all the way through. Practice performing, you know, all your stage moves and all that stuff, like it's real, like it's alive. Here's something that even when you were playing in that performing mindset, when you're practicing as a band, you might get out of the present moment because you'll make a mistake, and you notice that you've made a mistake. So you have to be in that moment, live in the moment. That a basketball coach once said.
Tonight is not about the past, and it's not about the future. It's about right now. And you guys have got to want this night to last forever. You got to want to run and play and defend all night long. You got to live in the moment and understand there's going to be adversity and there's going to be challenges.
Something that you can need to do and practice is have a reset routine. In the middle of a song, you make a mistake, you need something that snaps you out of it and brings you back into the present moment and doesn't allow your brain to kind of cascade down a path where you're overthinking things. Mistake, boom, too bad, keep moving. So you have to have what we call a reset routine. Is you get to a point and you make a mistake. You can't stop, you can't go back, you can't do it over again. You have to stay in the present moment in order to continue on with the song. But if you're in your head, and this is the experience, you hit a wrong note, darn, I hit a wrong note, and now you're already off track because you're in your brain. Our brains are designed to do that. So a reset routine right in that moment. So recognizing that you got out of that present moment, that's the hardest thing right there. Once you recognize, I'm not in the song, I'm not where I am, you know, recognize it, reset, do something physical in the moment. I'll give you a couple examples of things you could do, but you got to come up with something on your own that works in multiple contexts. But pick something that works for you. You want something that you can do, nobody else recognizes you doing it, and it's something quick. So one is just stomping your foot. Just stomp your foot. Stomping your foot. You feel how that physically gets you in the present moment. Another thing is just curl your toes up. Right foot, left foot. Pick a foot, curl your toes up. See how that feels when you do that? It's uncomfortable, but it zaps you right into that present moment. And then once you do that, reset into, this is the chord I need to play, this is the riff I'm doing, this is the moment where I am, and continue on. When you do that, when you first start doing that, you may find yourself having to do that a lot. Recognize, reset, refocus. Recognize, reset, refocus in the context of whatever song you're playing. Probably best to practice this, and it is best to practice this on your own first before you get to a band rehearsal. But something you also can teach your bandmates to do. Something that they can do to refocus, get back on track. Pick something that works for you, though, and be consistent with your practice of that thing. So we talked about two things here. One is the kind of mindset you have to be when you're training or practicing, which is all about judging, all about figuring out what you need to do to get it better, and then refining and repetition. And then there's performing, staying in the present moment, going through an entire song, mistakes and all, and trying to keep your focus in that moment. And we had the reset routine that can help you do that. Something very quick. Recognize that you're out of the present moment. Reset or release those thoughts and refocus. So I hope this was helpful to you. It's something that I do and I use when I perform live, and I make mistakes all the time. Every single time. I'll hit a wrong note. And usually it's like, oop, wrong note, but I get back to what I'm playing with very quickly, quick reset routine, because I've gotten good of recognizing, I'm out of the moment. I need to bring myself back really quick. And it's been practiced over time. So hopefully those things can help you when you're performing live and get rid of some of maybe that performance anxiety about, if I make a mistake, this might happen. Yes, that might happen, or it might not. But what can you control? You can control your mindset, and you control a reset routine that gets you back in the present moment, gets you playing at the best. And I'll give you a little tip. Performance anxiety, stage fright, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of amps you up. It's a bad thing when it gets too much. And that's a topic for another discussion. But hopefully these things can help you kind of get over that. Help you control the controllables, have a good show, and do your best and have fun with it. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe. That helps us out a great deal and might actually get this channel being an actual true side hustle. So thank you for your time and have a great blessed day.